before we begin, thank you very much to El Bozo, which is Spanish for the Bozo, for joining my Patreon campaign. I'm pretty sure I've said that name before, and I love saying it. Thank you very much for coming back. I believe I am through all of my shoutouts for January, which means everyone now is going to be a recent sign-up. The cool thing about the way my Patreon works now is when you sign up on a specific day, you pay right away, and that becomes your payment day for the duration of your time here. So it's not like it has to be on the first like it used to. But that means that you get your shout out right away, which I think is a very cool thing to be able to do. Well, I say right away. It's give it like 2 or 3 days at the most, depending on the backlog of shout outs. And then, of course, you get it, depending on your tier, you can get Discord access, advanced views of videos, some exclusive videos, or even your own requests made. So, plenty of reasons, but do it only if you can, all right? Don't stretch yourself. I know money's tight for everybody. All right. We have a news roundup for the week, and thank you for the people who like the new intro. I'm trying to get a few others commissioned to freshen up just about everything I do. But for now, let's go on with what we got in the world of Transformers this week. And the big thing, I think, is the Rise of the Beast Super Bowl teaser, which is really not a whole lot, to be honest, outside of the fact that it's great to see Transformers at the Super Bowl. The only thing about this, really, they really reused a bunch of shots we'd already seen, but they expanded it out because this one was focused on Mirage, which is going to be our, for lack of a term, but it seems like it's going to be our main character for the movie. Prime, of course, is important. Primal's important. But it almost seems like Bumblebee's taking a back seat. We really haven't seen much of him in any of the teasers. And we know Mirage is going to be a heavy focus. So here we go. We finally get to see his full design. He's a lot skinnier than I expected him to be. And honestly, if we're going to be honest here, he looks more like Mirage than I was expecting. And I know there's already people going, well, that's not Mirage. That doesn't look like Mirage. It's the live action movies. Have you been paying attention? We've been over this. The live action movies use the names, but they are not meant to be the original characters. This is the same thing we went through in the Unicron trilogy. In some cases, we went through it in G2. There's a few names there. They got name dumped. Like, it's not supposed to be a recurring character. It's a new character with an old name. We've been through it before. We're going to go through it again, and it's the thing the live action movies do. Just get used to it. Be glad that this Mirage actually has he has the blue head. Like, he has kind of the white and blue designs to him. So, like, this is actually closer than we usually get. Let's put it that way. It's closer than usual. So, it's good to see. I don't mind the design. I think he's bright. He's distinct. He's not just a gray skeleton with a bunch of car shrapnel on him. It's still the live-action aesthetic that I'm kind of tired of, but, it looks better than a lot of them I've seen. I think what was cool about this is that this trailer actually got dropped on the YouTube channel for Porsche, because they are really connected to this, because of course Mirage here he's a white and blue Porsche. Mirage, not Jazz, because we killed him in the first movie, and even though this is like a soft reboot thing, we can't bring Jazz back. No. So we have imitation Jazz in Mirage. And yeah, the trailer's just about him getting to know this new human companion. And it does a decent job of showing him off. You got Bumblebee about to airdrop. You got the chase scenes we've seen. We've seen Primal, we've seen. There's the Mirage part of Mirage. Yeah, so, yeah, just basically expanded. I think the coolest thing about this is the fact that Porsche is so heavily involved in this one, when in the past, Porsche has literally stated publicly that Transformers was not worthy of the Porsche brand. And now they are totally on board, which I think is awesome, and might lead to things like retro Walmart Jazz, which would be cool. Masterpiece Jazz, it's been way overdue. So I don't really take a whole lot away from the trailer other than Mirage looks cool, which is the point. What I take away is the stuff that it means for the rest of the Transformers brand at large, which is not their intention, but it's something to note. And right on the heels, they announced the Studio Series figure, which is, again, looking a lot more like Jazz than it is Mirage. So I'm getting the idea that the Studio Series toys were probably the ones that were designed first and might not be the most accurate to the movies. We can see the head design on Jazz here is very different. He's got a visor. The blue on the head is gone. There's a lot of blue in general missing on his robot, which is quite a bit bulkier than the robot we see here. Like, he feels like he's missing a lot of detailing. So hopefully that deco gets changed. At the very least, the head, I think, is not right for this toy. But knowing their release schedule these days, this toy's probably already in a warehouse somewhere, so it's too late. We're just going to get an inaccurate Mirage in Studio Series. You know, the line that's supposed to be pushing accuracy above all. Yeah, wait for the main line Mirage. That's probably going to be the better one. All right. So there were some other listings that we got that I totally whiffed on. I should have included them in my listings report video. So we're going to talk about them here because it's a fun little set. So these are all selects releases, which is awesome to see. I think there's a little bit of a, well, not all selects, but there's some weird exclusives in here too. So we're getting TriggerCon Windsweeper, who is absolutely going to be a retool of Needle Nose. I don't think there's any dispute on that. Mostly because it's the only deluxe jet, come to think of it. So I'm hoping what we get here are the Target Masters repainted entirely in silver so they can replicate his big wing guns. Other than that, yeah, it's weird. Windsweeper's such an obscure, did-nothing character, and now he's going to have a Generation Selects toy. Predacon Antagony. So another BotCon exclusive character getting a larger release out of a modern mold. It's about the only thing they can do with the Inferno mold, so this one was pretty much expected. It's not a big shock. G1 Headmaster. Again, it's a deluxe size. No clue on that one. My hope here is that this is going to be Diaclone Twin Twist to go, or Diaclone Topspin to go with Twin Twist, because it's still very unusual that they did one but not the other. I wouldn't be surprised if those Headmasters were getting a little bit more expensive to produce, so it might be, the window might be closing on getting that Topspin actually made. But then again, it says G1 Headmaster, which Topspin wasn't, but they've done all of them. I think they've done all of them at deluxe size that they can, so no clue what it could be. Wait and see. And there's some arrivals in US port. There's a new FanFest figure set coming out. I assume it's a set. Deluxe Evolution Wave 1 Medics. So that is most likely going to be another Walgreens exclusive. Most of the emergency vehicles are these days. But cool. Rescue Bots getting modern figures. We've been looking for that. And then Jungle Mission Pack 1. So I'm assuming some kind of... this is for Buzzworthy Bumblebee, so I'm assuming this is some kind of multi-pack. Because we haven't had a multi-pack in Buzzworthy in a while. Not like a proper one, not like that big long one that they like doing. So those are on the way. The Buzzworthy Jump Pack includes the recently leaked Deluxe Cheetor. So, okay, so repaints a Cheetor. It might, well, considering it's a Buzzworthy release, it's probably a repaint of that Cheetor. So, who knows? Alright. Moving on, this one wasn't even named on TFW for some reason, but we're going to go over to Big Bad because they're the only pre-orders I saw of this one. Otherwise, I would suggest going to Entertainment Earth, where my code in the description will save you 10% on all your in-stock orders and get you free shipping on top of that. And if you're pre-ordering something, you're not going to get the discount, but you're still going to help the channel by using my link. Thank you very much. See how I balance this out? Reaction, a toy line I absolutely hate, is getting Beast Wars figures, which is kind of cool. Depending on how they look, there might be a couple that I pick up. I'm a sucker for a Dinobot for obvious reasons. So we'll see how it turns out. They're on the way for those Super 7 collectors. All right. We actually found out more info on the Animatronic toy. Apparently, this is already in U.S. warehouses, just waiting to ship to stores. Yeah, so it is Animatronic Changer Optimus Primal, 14 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 23 centimeters. Keep in mind, that's the box size, so that has no indication on how big the toy itself is. But we do at least confirm that it is an Optimus Primal. That is 100% confirmed now. So this one's ready to go. It's just a matter of Hasbro telling them to do it, or Walmart and Target saying, okay, we got the shelf space now, send it out. I don't know, this whole toy line's weird. The movie's delay like really screwed up the timeline on this one. All right, so I'm trying to do less in-hand reveals because it feels like I just take up a lot of time talking about things we've already seen in mass. For instance, like Cheetor and RC from Studio Series now have brand new in-hand galleries, but people also just have those toys now, so it's a little bit silly to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about the ones that are a little bit harder to get right now. There's in-hand shots of Masterpiece, Revenge of the Fallen Starscream, with darker sculpting, the darker molded plastic, and then all of his tribal tats all the way across the jet mode and robot mode. It's definitely not an accurate look for the jet, but I actually do prefer this because it has personality to it. I prefer it over this, which looks like they just dropped some watery paint and let it dry. You know, I think it's a better deco than that. Besides that, I think it is just straight up a very rare repaint for Masterpiece. No new weapons, no new tooling. It's just straight up a brand new paint job for the previous Starscream. So if you missed out on it the first time, the second one I actually think looks pretty good. Not that I would grab it, but you know, it's available. The other in hand I want to show you, following Optimus Prime, the Kotobukiya Bishoujo Megatron is now available, now in hand. And again, I'm just like shocked by how big these things are to be like near Masterpiece size. I thought they'd be like desk size, and they could just like sit like no taller than my water bottle here. Nope, they're gigantic. They are large ladies. I mean, again, I said it with all this. I said it every time this comes up. It's not my thing, but if it's your thing, all the power to you. All right, in another realm of gigantic figures. So ThreeZero showed off their prototype of their Nemesis Prime based on the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. You know that famous scene in Bumblebee movie where like Nemesis Prime shows up and morbs all over everybody? No. It's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how in continuity it is. Every Optimus Prime is capable of becoming a Nemesis Prime. That's just the rule now. I mean, it looks good and it looks huge. It looks absolutely gigantic. You can see it in comparison to some of their other figures. I know there's no real size comparison. I want to say these are like 1/6 scale. Like these are actually like decently sized action figures for like especially the Spider-Man and the Iron Man, and then just this big guy who practically looks like he's in scale. Yeah, he's a 19-inch tall figure. That is a big boy. And counts for over 140 articulation points. That is like a scary amount. That is like, if I play with this, I'm going to break like 3 of those points every time I adjust his pose. Kind of like, that's too many. That's too many. And now, with incredible size and incredible articulation comes incredible price. So this is not for everybody. But for those who are into those really big, super nice collectibles, you got another one on the way. And speaking of... So, Flame Toys is doing something interesting for the Kuri set. So, this is God Power Jet Armor. It is not a transforming figure. It is not a completely new sculpt. This is a complete upgrade kit for their Kuri Optimus Prime to give him a very Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire combo mode. Which, you know, Optimus Primes combined with other people, you know... You don't always have to go to the movie Jetfire aesthetic. Just let you know, we've done this more than once now on the high-end scale. Again, it looks super cool. It's also super big and super expensive. I will be abstaining from this one as well. It's also in that realm of the backpack is making it way too heavy for it to work, which is not the first time Kuri has done this. At least this one has like a big display stand to keep it there, but is literally, if you put your Optimus like this, it's basically just a statue at this point. I can't imagine you being able to do much of anything with it when it's fully decked out like this. Looks cool, but again, crazy expensive for what it is. And you need to already have the expensive figure to put the expensive attachments onto it. So for those with a disposable income, my Patreon is in the description below. But have at it. It's your money. You have fun with it. All right, WonderFest is coming up in Japan, and this brings out super cool things. So, this is from Paralizing Toyz. They're doing soft vinyls of a few specific figures, some of them being reissues of ones they did last year, and I believe one new one. I might be wrong. Actually, I think all these are redos of previous figures. So, the cool thing you can do for WonderFest, and the cool thing you get to do in Japan, is you can license something for one day. You can get a license to do like an official Transformers release of your own creation for one day. And there, in WonderFest is the day you get away with this. And I've seen some super cool and interesting stuff come out of WonderFest as far as like figures and characters you never get. These are old school Japanese vinyls, which you got one of Omega Supreme in prototype color. You've got I believe this is supposed to be toy color Devastator with alternate heads depending on which version you like. Yep. And then you get a Shattered Glass Blaster and a Shattered Glass Soundwave as well. So what's cool about Japanese like old school vinyl like this, to do small batch vinyl, you have to do it the old school way. And the old school way is like you get your vinyl, you lay it out in a steel mold, close the mold, stick the mold on a stick, stick the whole thing in a kiln, and rotate the stick until the vinyl has melted and coated the inside of the mold. You take it out, you keep rotating it until the vinyl inside is completely cooled off, and then you take it out and you have a piece of vinyl. It's a very, very difficult and very arduous process. You have to be really hardcore to do it. The result, though, is this amazing quality of vinyl, way better than anything factory injected, with this really nice, smooth, solid feel to it. So these are going to be expensive because of the process that goes through them, but for a vinyl collector, it's worth it for the quality that it creates. So yeah, it's a cool little one-day-only thing, and not going to be easy for us in the West to actually get one, but they will exist. So keep hopes up if you're a collector of things. All right. We got a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff for the revealed Origins Jazz, which is still such a cool figure. They revealed a lot of how this toy works. That the everything can store underneath him in vehicle mode. You get a little bit of fake door and canopy thing to see how it transforms. That's cute. Scales with Bumblebee really well, so if there's a whole collection of these, that's what's implied, cool. Shows off the fact that the forearms do have independent 5mm ports, so you can actually arm mount his weapons like in the cartoon. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff about this one, like really cool stuff. I'm really looking forward to this. Yeah, what's next? Yeah, so I can actually see this retooled as Wheeljack if it's bulked up a little bit. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of ways they could go through this. Maybe not. I'm thinking about how Wheeljack transforms the front end of the car. No, new mold, don't remold it. Change my mind. But this is like a really cool subset. If this becomes a thing, I really want it to become a thing. All right. One more for Flame Toys, Kuri again, but we're in a we're apparently just in a jazz mood, whether it's a fake jazz or not. So we've got the brand new official gallery for Kuri Jazz. Remember, this is not their model kit line. This is their big expensive action figure line. We've seen the Jazz before, but now we've got this really full gallery showing off everything it can do, the range of posability. I like the options you can do with the doors. The arm-mounted doors don't look too bad, actually, on Jazz, but you can have them in the toy traditional wing position, or you can just keep them off for cartoon accurate. So I like that they have the inclusion. I love cute little details they do on Transformers sometimes, because you can see like in the back of his legs there's some translucent plastic, like that's his tail lights, which I think is neat. But also, it also kind of looks like Jazz is wearing those like old school shoes that light up when you step, which I could totally see G1 Jazz and his obsession with Earth culture being down for that. So I kind of like that. Yeah, he gets his speaker things too. He can do the speaker attack. Yeah, mounts on the shoulders too, which is another weird look for Jazz. So like I love optional opposing pieces like that, where you can customize how he looks. Again, out of my price range for something that doesn't transform, but super cool looking. Super cool looking. All right, for something on a much smaller budget, Trumpeter has announced the brand new smart kit for Bumblebee, and this one being the Last Night Bumblebee. So you can tell like way heavier on the greeble, way heavier on the detail lines. I was never a fan of how this Bumblebee looked, just because he looked way too busy. Like he's got way too much going on here in the detail department. They're trying really too hard to like intertwine the gray and the silver, and it's not working for me. But I did one of these model kits as a video. They're a nice little kit. They're simple to put together, and they're not like terribly complicated. And yeah, if you're into the big hammer wielding version of movie Bumblebee, that is going to be an option for you soon. Right, moving on. The NFT Funko Pops are out now. Moving on. Big W and Rise of the Beast doing a promotion in Australia. Why is Australia the place to promote this new movie? Why is Australia the place to promote this new movie? I don't know. Okay, so for whatever reason. All right, so Transformers X, Taronga, Roar, and Snore page from February 6th to March 8th. Big W and Taronga Zoo have promotion for several prizes just by buying any Transformers toy product from Big W. And then there's a whole bunch of prizes to win. So if you're in Australia, you've got a chance to win a whole bunch of prizes just for buying toys, which they don't do in America anymore. I wish they were. I've got where is it? Yeah, I've got a Cybertron buzzsaw hanging on my wall that still has the thing like, win a trip to space camp. And I'm like, I want to go to space camp. Is that still valid? When was it? When did that expire? 2006. Okay, probably. I don't think they'll take the entry now. I miss being able to do things like that. I miss the little contest things. So cool if you're in Australia. The rest of us just have to watch and be jealous. And to finish it off, we have this brand new officially licensed Transformers artwork doing in posters and art print form, and it's done in VHS covers. This shouldn't take me back, but it does. So this is fascinating to me. So there's clean variants, and then there's weathered to actually look like old VHS cassettes, which I think is super clever. And what I hate is that this actually really does hit like the blank VHS tape covers that you would see in like in the 80s and 90s, and like really like. And I'm actually really impressed by like how well they've managed to get the characters to come through on what really shouldn't make a transforming robot apparent. But it's actually like a really cool design trick, if anything. So, if you want some really old school and really weird artwork, it does exist. And that is going to do it for another news roundup. Shorter than last week's. Still longer than I'd like, but, we're working on it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you are caught up on all of your Transformers information for the week, and I will see you next Monday to do it all over again. Until then. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.